Okay, it's Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday. It's Tuesday, and on Monday night when we got home, my wife got a message that said, "Call me as soon as you get home." So she calls her friend, and her high school classmate's older brother died in a traffic accident. Head-on collision, instantaneous death with a 4-ton truck. That was Monday night. So yesterday was the otsuya, which is the wake. That's a really annoying word to teach Japanese students, because when you say it's a wake, they always think you mean awake. Okiteru. That's of course that's one word. So we went to the wake last night. It's actually, I think it's my first time to be to a Japanese wake, which is, I guess, good news, because it means not a lot of people have died. Well, not a lot of Japanese people have died. I guess I've been to a few foreign ones. Three foreigners that I've known have died. One of them was really old, so it was his time. The other two died, unfortunately, very young. Anyway, so I went to the wake yesterday. It was my first time, and of course, I'll be honest, in the back of my head, I'm like, God, I wish I could take a video of this place. But of course, there are some things even I will not take video of. But it was extremely sad. This guy was 38 years old, not married, a girlfriend for a long time. He left the house and he said, "Itekimasu," which is what you say when you leave the house. Whenever I'm speaking Japanese and English, it takes me a second to switch gears, you know. But anyway, he left the house and that was it. So it's a horrible, horrible story. We went there, and it was I want to describe the scene to you and just make a few observations about it. First of all, the most important thing to take away from this video, if you don't care about funerals or wakes and things like that, is God damn it, drive safe. You know, seriously. Even like Yoko's older brother, just drives like a maniac. He's just always got like speeding tickets all the time. You know, it's not cool. It's gonna save you a few more minutes. I've done it too. You know, when I was a teenager, I drove over. I would drive over the bridge, because the cops don't usually get you on the bridge, and I would, hit 140 miles an hour. I mean, that was pretty cool. The car would be shaking, but it's stupid in the end. I mean, there's a lot of things you can brag about, but you certainly can't brag about that if you don't live. So drive safe. Anyway, you walk in and they have like attendants, and everyone's dressed in black, and you go and you sign your name, and they give you like a gift bag, like at the Oscars or something, which is always funny. Funny, strange, not funny. And when you go to a wedding, it's the same thing. You pay some money in an envelope, and then you pay some money in a special envelope they have for these, and you at the wedding at the end of the wedding they give you a gift bag. It's usually got some neat stuff. I think I got like a tool set once, an alarm clock, and some china plate or something. Usually stuff you don't really need. Sometimes they give you a catalog and you can choose from the catalog. Those are weddings. But funerals, to be honest, I didn't even look in the bag. I mean, we were all kind of upset. We accepted the bag, we took it home. One of the things in the bag, however, I'm not actually sure if it's in the bag, but something that they do give you when you walk away is something called okiyome jio. And this is a picture of it. It's a little salt packet. Salt, as you probably know, in many cultures, I think many cultures, it's kind of a purifying, has a purifying power, or it's thought to have, right? So when you go to a funeral or wake, when you come back, you don't want to bring all that bad luck, that dirtiness of death with you. So before you walk back into your house, you open up this little bag and you sprinkle the salt on your body, and that's a special kind of salt. Usually salt is shio. But in this case, because it's contracted with this okiyome, it becomes okiyome jio. But anyway, another thing that was kind of interesting about this funeral. Let me tell you some things about it. When you walk in, you sign your name. They give you a gift bag. Then there's an altar, and they have a big picture of the guy right in the center, of the deceased right in the center. And they have, it's a big wood altar in this case. It's not a Christian one. And they have flowers, surrounding, wall-to-wall flowers with names of whoever sent them. Now, no one was there when we went, because we went there after work, and it was pretty empty, except for of course, a few of the family members. But it was really sad, I'm really sad about this whole thing. The sister was really distraught, and she kind of apologized for her brother passing. And like, oh, what a dummy, you know, kind of thing. You know, like even in cases like this, Japanese apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, it's like, don't be silly. And the other thing that's kind of interesting about Japanese wakes and funerals that are different is that, well, in this particular case, they had the body in a casket, and it was an open casket. And I stayed back because I didn't know the guy, and as curious as you might think, oh, I want to see what, you know, the body, but, you know, I didn't. That's just silly. I felt even embarrassed to be slightly curious to see what he looked like. You know, I never met the guy. You know, I was just going to accompany my wife, but they have the coffin, and they have glass where the face is, you know, like a little window, so you can look in and look at the face. And I stood back, so I couldn't really see. Coffins in Japan are generally often very not as sturdy or, you know, glamorous, no, luxurious as Western coffins that you see in the movies. Like if you ever watch like 6 Feet Under, those really heavy duty it looks like you could, like, you know, fly someone to the moon in those things. But Japanese coffins are often very simple, very squarish, rectangular. I've actually seen them for sale at used stores. I don't know, they weren't actually used, but they were at a used store, you know, and they had a sign, this coffin's never been used. And they're very flimsy, like some of them balsa wood. And the reason for that is because cremation is, I think you say kaisō, cremation is almost 90%, 95% of the bodies are disposed of here that way. During, after the earthquake and the typhoon, there were so many bodies though that they couldn't do it. So they were just, you know, mass burials. They knew where everyone was buried, but they just lined them all up and dug these trenches and put them in one by one, which is very rare in Japan. I've actually been to a crematorium, and I've got some footage of it, and I actually took it right after the earthquake, and, you know, it's very bad timing. I'm not going to post that then. So, but anyway, the box was very flimsy. It had a kind of Buddhist kind of what do you call it? Like I want to say like a bed cover or a tablecloth looking thing on top of it. But the face was open. You could go in and look. And something that Yoko said was, you know, yeah, she couldn't really believe he was dead until she saw him. And that's something, I don't know if you guys know this. Some of you probably do, but having an open coffin is important for a few reasons. And one of those is to give the mourners a sense of closure. Because to actually see the person who's actually dead apparently helps you get over it. You know, I had a friend who died a couple years ago, and I couldn't go to the wake for various reasons. But my friends told me that in this case, which is also typical of some wakes, they put the body on a futon, and he was wrapped in a futon, and in the futon they put dry ice. They put dry ice all over the body to keep it kind of fresh, you know, so to speak. Which is all I think pretty weird. And they put the futon right on the tatami mat, right in the living room, right on the floor, you know. So strange. I mean, you know, like from what we're used to, but not in Japan. That's the way things are done here. So anyway, when you go to a wake or something in Japan, there's usually like a little container that has some ashes, and you take them. There's certain things you have to do, and just basically imitate the people before you. Actually, I have been awake like 20 years ago. My girlfriend's grandfather died. And in that case, you like put some incense, you burn some incense, and some people like pick up incense and move it and then pray. I don't really remember exactly how it's done, but that's not really the point of this. I really wanted to make this last night, but I was kind of just sad. So, but I do want to kind of tell you about it because it's something I've never talked about before. And I was moved. It's just so heavy right now. I actually had a completely different video like that. But anyway, you guys, all you youngsters, you know, everyone who's out there driving, be careful. One thing that she regretted was his last words were just like, "I'm going to work." It's being the nature of humanity is to kind of think of our own mortality when we see someone else's. Yeah, it was sad. It was sad. So, take care of your families and drive safely, and be sure to tell one another, your loved ones, that you do love them, because you may not get another chance. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.